Happy 2025. This year I'm going to be going on a low buy. So I wanted to kick off the year by talking about my reasons why, my specifications, and my goals that I hope to come out of this. I really don't know how to start this video without feeling like I'm getting really heavy off the bat, but that's the only way I can think to start it. So I guess we're just gonna dive right in. I think of myself as a very anti-consumerist person. My values are anti-consumerist. I look at consumerism, consumption, capitalism, all of that with a side eye, but I'm also such a victim of it. And allow me to elaborate a little bit. I think the internet is the best thing that ever happened to businesses. And I'm sure in the past there was people that struggled with making too many trips to the mall, overspending when they did, whatever, but the internet has put us all in a constant state of shopping. We can't escape from these companies that know our brains sometimes better than we do, know exactly what it is that they can show us that will inspire us to buy their product. And you really can't use the internet without this constant bombardment of advertising. So instead of entering a store where you're choosing to be marketed to, you're choosing to see the things that are up for you to buy, we are now in a constant state of shopping, a constant state of having, a cart made on all my web pages that I leave open, and I'm thinking about it and they're sending me emails being like, you want this? And they're having Instagram ads being like, come on, you want this. And the whole thing just feels very icky to me. I think there is a balance. I think that buying things, acquiring things can add some value to our life. But I think that our whole perspective about buying things, like as a society, is so skewed from living in this internet world for like 2 decades. Any minor inconvenience can be solved not through community or through some outside the box thinking, but now you could just buy something and it'll just show up at your house, maybe even today, and problem solved. And the companies are like, you're welcome that we have this for you. And we're like, thank you so much for allowing me to give you my money for something to solve this minor inconvenience. And I also think there's this perception of being overworked, not having money for the things you really want, worrying about retirement. And again, I'm not blaming the individual here because I feel like all of this marketing is so insidious that one really has to be strong and on top of it and aware of it to try to overcome it. But I do think the secret to happiness is to try to overcome it, to want less so you can enjoy your life more and experience less money-related stress. And I don't want to downplay the very real money-related stress that a lot of people have. It's certainly a privileged position to be in, to be able to succumb to ads, to be able to buy multiple lipsticks and also eat. But I also don't have savings for my retirement. So right now I'm like, okay, I'm making a choice, but it's really going to affect me in the future if I don't do something major to stop it now. I think some people are more susceptible than others to all this marketing. I find myself to be very susceptible to it. I like stuff. As much as I think it's so sick how these companies are tricking me into spending money, I also do like stuff, but I could also appreciate stuff without buying it. I can appreciate the stuff I already have. Me not buying things doesn't mean that there's nothing out there that I would want to buy, If I'm not buying a pair of jeans today, it doesn't mean that there's 0 jeans in existence that I would love. It just means I don't need jeans. I don't need to spend money. That's it. And I feel like brands and marketing have really manufactured the FOMO. They're telling you that there are better jeans out there and your life is going to be so much better if you have those jeans. And sure, maybe they will, but also chances are they won't. So this year is about teaching me that I don't need those jeans. And even though all those things that I just said are always they're always in my brain, they're in my brain in the way that I see the world, in the way that I see community and this move to self-reliance, but my actions don't always line up with that. And that's because I'm a sucker for this really intelligent marketing that billions of dollars is spent on a year because they make that money back and then some, you know? And also, because I've been purchasing things for so long, I do already have really nice things. I have enough pants to wear. I have enough makeup to wear. There has to be a certain point where it stops, and I find a way to resume normal shopping habits, because even though it's normalized, I don't think having a package come to my doorstep nearly every day is normal or should be normal. So the rules that I'm going to lay out are my attempt to rejoin normalcy. Because as I said, I think there are benefits to getting a new thing every now and then. I think it's okay to be like, I really like this t-shirt and I decided I'm going to buy this t-shirt. I have the money in my account right now. I think I'll wear it all the time. I'm going to buy this t-shirt. That's okay. It's just not okay if I'm buying a t-shirt 5 times a week. As I make my examples, t-shirt and jeans, I am talking about clothing and makeup because those are my categories that I mainly struggle with, and those are the categories that are mainly going to be addressed in my low buy rules. And before we get into the specifics, I know we're all in very different places, very different positions. I'm trying to give myself enough generosity here that I'm setting myself up for success. I fear that if I was to tell myself I'm going on a total no buy, that's something that's going to be too strict for me and I'm going to fold and I'm going to go back to my old ways. And I really want to change the way that I shop for the rest of my life. I've always thought that, like, you know, I'm shopping a bit more now, but then in the future, once I have an apartment and a family, I'll save more. But like, am I expecting a flip to just switch the day that it happens? I feel like I need to set myself up for it before I'm making these major life changes so that I have enough money and I'm ready for that. Okay, so here are the nitty-gritty of the rules that I've set up, and I feel like it's going to get kind of like long and specific, but the thing that I've learned watching a lot of no buy, low buy, conscious consumerism content is that you have to be very specific with yourself and not give yourself space to kind of like make up the rules later on. And like, I know myself, I've tried to do things like this before with lower success. I will take advantage of any gray area, and I don't want to leave that gray area this time. So I'm gonna have some different rules for makeup as opposed to for clothing. So let's start with clothing specifics mostly because that is where I spend most of my money historically. I mean, I feel like recently I have bought a lot of makeup, but clothing is like really my my kryptonite. So for clothing, I'm going to give myself 1 credit a month for a clothing item. I'm going to be a little bit flexible in the way that, like, if what I want is like a set, I can buy the set. Like if I decide I want this sweatshirt and sweatpants, I don't have to use 2 credits. That can just be 1 credit because it's like 1 set, you know? But it doesn't work if it's not a set. I can't be like, well, I'm really gonna wear this top with these jeans, so I have to buy them together. No, those are 2 things. It's just like, if they're matching, then that can be 1 item. And that counts for pretty much all of my clothing categories. It counts for tops, bottoms, jackets, shoes, bags, bathing suits. The only things that it won't count for is undergarments, bras, and underwear. I can buy them if I need them. I don't think I'm going to be going crazy and buying a ton of them, but like, if I need to get bras, I can get bras totally absent of these rules. It also doesn't count for things that I need for running. I run every day, so I need adequate layers to protect me from the elements. I need running sneakers. I need t-shirts to wear. I might have to replace some of these items sometime during this year, so I'm allowed to do that if it makes sense. I don't want to go on like a whole shopping spree and like make over all my running clothes just because I can, but if I need to replace something, I can. So a credit will accrue every month. However, I want to start off the year by not letting myself use those credits. In the fashion community, a lot of people in the past, maybe it was just last year, they were talking about the 75 hard style challenge, which I think was started by Old Loser in Brooklyn. And the idea of that is that you're not buying anything for 75 days, and There's also other rules like making a different outfit every day and taking pictures of your outfits. I don't know if I'm going to be doing that, but I like the idea of starting out the year with essentially a 75-day no-buy. I feel like that will kind of set me up well, and it sounds like a reasonable amount of time to not be acquiring new clothes. Like, I think I can survive 75 days without like saying, you know, screw it, I'm just gonna go on a shopping spree. And also I like the idea of accruing credits in January and February that then I can't use until March. So it's giving me a little bit of a cushion that once I can buy an item, I'm not limited to like just buying one. Like I can buy two at one time, you know? Or I can let it kind of like build or carry those over, and then maybe in the summer I'm going to want a couple new summer items and I'll have that option. The only exceptions to this like credit system is that I think I'm going to allow myself to do like one thrift trip a season, because like thrifted clothes are not expensive. I'm not going to be like getting caught up in the fantasy of an item before it even like reaches my door. Like I'll see it in person, I'll see if it's good quality, I'll see if it's worth bringing home. And I also feel like that's setting me up for success. And it's also giving me a reason to not buy things online spontaneously. I can see something online that I want and I can like file it away in my brain and be like, okay, my next thrift trip, I'm going to look for a black sweater instead of buying this $100 one online. And the other exception is that I got a couple Visa gift cards for Christmas from loved ones, and I feel like I'm going to allow myself to spend those on like a Christmas present the way that my loved ones intended for me. So although I'm kind of on a clothing no-buy for the first 75 days, if I see something that I really want and I can buy it with a gift card as a Christmas present to me, I will allow myself to do that. So for makeup is a little complicated because I do have this YouTube channel, so I don't want to not buy any makeup during the next year. I feel like that wouldn't be the best decision for the health of my channel, but also like, you know, reviewing my shopping habits, even from like this Black Friday season, there was a lot of makeup that I was like, oh, that would be fun to play with. I'll just buy it and I'll make a video about it. And I bought way more things than I had time to make content with. So even I'm starting out this year with like several packages of items that I'm like, I'm going to be making content at the start of this low buy year about this new makeup. So I feel like these rules will help me from making like small spontaneous purchases. My idea with makeup is kind of a credit system also, but a little bit more flexible than I need to be with clothes because of my YouTube channel. So roughly, I would like to make one makeup purchase a month to review on YouTube, but if Cleona and Davina both make a collection at the same time that I really want to talk about, I will give myself a little bit of wiggle room if I will have the time to make that content in a reasonable amount of time, you know? Like if they're both releasing collections and I know that I will not have time for several weeks after receiving them to make a video about it, then that's something to reconsider. But for the most part, I feel like I'm better equipped to make good decisions about makeup purchases, because although clothing, I've really like tricked myself into buying way too much the past couple years, I have had long periods of time where I've made very reasonable decisions about makeup, and I trust that I can do it again. So the idea with the makeup is roughly one purchase for a video per month with wiggle room if collections happen to be released at the same time and I have time to review them. That's it. I also do have a couple things kind of like built-in exceptions. I don't know if they're really exceptions because they're not like smack dab in the middle of my categories, but I didn't want to force myself to make panic purchases. So I've been wanting like a nice new bathrobe and like a flannel robe, and I decided instead of like rushing into it at the end of the year, I will give myself the leeway to purchase some nice robes during this year, separate from my credits and my no-buy. I also am going to give myself an allowance to purchase one perfume free of my rules and one order of candles free of my rules. This year I've been buying way too many candles, and I do use them. I do love them, but like enough is enough. So this is kind of me giving myself like a little bit of leeway so that I don't crack However, it's way more strict than I would be with myself having not made these rules. So one time this year that my favorite candle brand, which is Bossy Pants Candles, one time that they release a collection that I'm like, I really want that, I can buy that free of my rules. If I want to buy candles at any other point, I can use a credit on it, like a clothing credit, or I can buy it with the Christmas money that I just got. But I'm just gonna give myself one time to like buy a couple candles because I want to, because it'll make me happy. And I feel like that's reasonable for a person who likes candles in the course of a year. Oh, my other exception. I think this is the last one, okay? This is what I was saying of like, I'm nervous it sounds like too many exceptions, but like these are my rules tailored to me and for the purpose of success. Okay, my last exception is I don't have any trips planned. Actually, I'm going to Disney World. I don't have that many trips planned for this year, and I don't know how much shopping I'm doing in Disney World, but I'm going to let myself buy some things when I'm on vacation. This doesn't mean like buying a whole new wardrobe leading up to vacation, no, but it does mean like, for instance, when I went to Vegas in December, I wanted to go to a couple thrift stores for fun. I ended up buying one tank top, one sweater, one purse, a couple necklace charms, and a hat at the Clown Motel. That's okay. If I'm on vacation and I want to buy a couple things that are reasonable, that I really like, I will let myself do that. So again, not sure. I don't think I'm really going to be shopping in Disney World. I will say Vegas was different because I was alone for most of it, and like I can kind of just do whatever I want to do, but like in Disney World, I'm not going to be like going to the mall with my boyfriend. So I don't think I'm going to be taking advantage of these rules, but if I'm there and I want to buy a hat at Disney World, I can buy a hat. And the other thing is replacements. If I run out of one of my staple products, I can replace that staple product. But if I run out of like a lip liner and I have a lot of other lip liners, then I can't just go out and buy that one again. I think that's all of my rules. I hope that's all of my rules. And then I think the only other thing I didn't talk about yet is like my goals. And I guess my goals were kind of alluded to during my why portion of this video, but I'm really just looking to establish a better spending habit. I'm looking to get used to not having a constant influx of new things, viewing things critically, remembering that these companies are trying to trick me into buying stuff so that they can get my money instead of me having my money. I feel like keeping that at the forefront of my brain will help me. I want to appreciate what I have more. I'm also in a position where like I've been someone who's bought a lot of stuff for many years, and like, I can't say that buying stuff doesn't get you nice stuff. Like, I have nice stuff because I've bought too many things. I have too much nice stuff, maybe, but like, I have a full wardrobe of beautiful clothing. And I really want to appreciate that wardrobe and appreciate my makeup. I have so much beautiful makeup also. And I feel like I'm just piling thoughts on top of each other now, but I feel like a lot of the times buying new stuff quells my creativity, and I want to get back into playing with my makeup, making fun looks with my makeup, and not just showcasing new products. Yeah, that's important to me too. And I want to save money to have a future with, to hopefully have a family, to have my own place with my partner. I do want to save money for some big travel plans. In particular, I have one that I want to do early in 2026. That's going to be so expensive, but I feel like if I don't do it now, I'm not going to do it till I'm retired. And I need to change my spending habits in order to have this like gigantic life experience. Like, imagine how silly I would feel at the end of my life being like, oh, I always wanted to go on this trip, but instead I bought so many sweatshirts that I was drowning in sweatshirts and I only wore every sweatshirt 2 times. So I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm also very excited. I think the thing that I need to remember also is that this isn't something that I hope goes well. I'm not like, oh, I hope I can do it. The power is literally mine. And I think in past years, when I've wanted to do like a low buy or a no buy, I haven't faced that like intense longing for something and gotten past that and then been proud of myself for getting past that. I feel like every time I've come up against that, I've cracked. So I'm hoping that this year I can at least get into it enough, maybe like using my exceptions, using my Christmas money, that I will have all of this time behind me. And it'll be like, oh, I'm really gonna stop now after like a whole month of this. You know? I'm just really trying to set myself up for success because I don't want to go through another year of buying too much stuff and feeling like my life as a responsible adult who needs to save money, to feel like that still hasn't started yet. Like, it needs to start now. It's going to start now. The power is all mine, and the only way it won't happen is if I go against my rules. It's not like something that will happen to me. It's me making decisions, you know? I need to make a decision every day to be all about this, to be 100% in this. And low buy or no buy, like with a low buy, even though I have this little bit of room for exceptions, it's still going to mean that the vast majority of time, I'm not buying anything. Almost every day, I'm going to be deciding to buy nothing. And I know I can do it. I just have to do it. Oh, the only things I didn't mention were I might make some exceptions for my birthday and for Black Friday. My birthday's in October, Black Friday's in November. I don't know exactly what yet those exceptions would be. It might be like just a little bit of a budget or something, because like I've had this fantasy for years about like going out into the city for my birthday season and just like doing some shopping at some fun stores that I don't normally go to. And I feel like after 9 or 10 months of being strict about spending, it would just be like a little fun adventure, finding a couple like new things in person to be excited about. So I feel like that's something that I can kind of think about during the year, but I just wanted to put it out here now that that is in my brain, that I might like give myself a little allowance for that and for Black Friday. But yeah, we'll reconvene about that topic at a later date. Are you going on a low buy this year? I've seen people be like, 2025 is going to be the year of the low buy. So are you doing it too? Are your rules different than mine? Are my rules crazy? Actually, don't tell me my rules are crazy. My rules are personal. They don't have to sound good to you, but they have to work for me, and that's the plan. So thank you guys for being here. As I said also, I do have a lot of newer makeup that I've acquired in November and December that I'm going to be posting about in the upcoming months. So I feel like the low buy might not really affect my content for a little while, but I probably will like put that into context in different ways as it comes up. I might do monthly check-ins. I don't know. We have a lot still in the air, but I'm excited. I'm excited to be posting this. I'm excited to be embarking on this journey, and I'm excited for my content to hopefully reflect a little bit better the way that I feel inside, and not just be like, shopping is great. I love shopping all the time. So thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you stick around. I hope your New Year's was awesome, and I wish you the best for 2025. If you enjoyed this, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. It really means a lot to me, and I will see you again very soon. Bye!